We're almost at the end of this gauntlet, guys. Can't believe I've missed so many days of making videos. Because they literally only take me like 5-10 minutes to make a video. Anyway, what's up, guys? How you going? The word for this video is happy and healthy, which something I get to talk about. As many of you guys probably know, because I know that I don't have a whole lot of subscribers at the moment, so hopefully the ones that are subscribed to me kind of know who I am off camera. But hopefully that means that you guys know enough about me to know that I am kind of extremely passionate about mental health awareness and that kind of thing, and like being kind of accepting towards it. It is a thing that happens. It's not a nice thing that happens, but it is a thing that happens. And I would like to help kind of get to the closest point of eradication that we can for this. I'm kind of passionate about this. And I feel like happy and healthy is the perfect way to kind of summarize how you can beat it. It's not the only way, I will give you that, it's not the only way, but this is how I've helped friends in the past kind of overcome it. Okay, so I will give a series of stories here. The first one that comes to mind when I think of this is they're all from when I moved in here. So the first one would be, I had a friend, I will not mention names, but I had a friend and we were kind of just hanging out at the shopping centre. I was making a payment on a like lay-by type thing at one of the shops at this centre, when she gets a call telling her that someone's on their way out to try and take her horse or something. This particular friend loves her horse, so she was like, hey, can we kind of go and deal with this? I was like, yeah, just give me like 2 seconds. Turned to the woman behind the counter, she's like, yeah, I'll just put that on you. You're right to, like, cool, thank you very much. So we turned and we pretty much ran to my car, got in, and we didn't speed, but we did get there before these people that were apparently on their way out to steal a horse. And so while we were sitting there waiting for these people to turn up, I don't actually remember them ever turning up, but I do remember that once we got there, she turned to me and said, thank you very much for being a great and supportive friend, because if I lost this horse, I would have lost, like, the general kind of will to live. It was the way it came across. I was like, ooh, that's kind of heavy. You're welcome. So step one for, and this isn't obviously for if you have a mental illness, but for if you have a friend who has a mental illness, step one is be as supportive as you can. You've no idea what they have to go through every day just to get out of bed sometimes. Let alone everything else. So that's story number one. Story number two is a much more recent one. I have a friend who lives in Inverell, so I'm unable to help at the moment because I actually can't drive at the moment. My license is kind of suspended for a bit because I have no points left on it from the time that I was caught speeding last year. So it's been suspended again because of that, for points. But she lives in Inverell, and just recently she's suffered a breakup. She suffered a breakup, and she is as head over heels as you possibly can get for this guy. So the breakup has taken a toll. Right? We've all been there. We all know the feels of like you really feel like you connect with somebody, and they just don't care. We all know those feelings. So I'm not judging here. I'm being as supportive as I can. But they were also starting to patch things up too. And then he turns around and he's like chatting up all these other girls and, you know, making her feel like shit because, you know, they've had this breakup, and then he's talking to these other girls. And then he has the tenacity to turn around after he's done all this and tell her that he loves her, and gets her hopes up, only to then smash them again by turning around and chatting up other girls. Like, just my opinion, but can you be a bigger fuckboy? Like, seriously? I don't understand what goes through that guy's head. Clearly I don't like him at all, but that's only because he's messing with my friends. If he wasn't messing with my friends, I'd have no issue. But yeah, so with her, and I think maybe talked her down a little bit because she was being very dramatic and very serious with the kinds of things she was telling me in our message. And they were kind of serious stuff, so I think I kind of talked her down a little bit by letting her know that the first thing I'll be doing once I get my license back will be going to visit them. And we're gonna have a day where I arrive, give them the biggest hug in the world, and then we're gonna buy some food, sit down, and just watch movies. We're gonna do the most low-key thing you can ever do. And we're just gonna kind of catch up, watch movies, eat junk food till we throw up or pass out, or one or the other. I'm looking forward to it. So again, being supportive, but also knowing the full story helps. So and people with a mental illness are not going to want to tell you the whole story. Exhibit A is my friend in Foster at the moment. They're one step forward, two steps back, kind of, but they're trying to get themselves out of the ditch of depression. They're Exhibit A. They don't want to tell me the whole story, but then they'll randomly ask me questions like, why do you put up with me? That's not a question people who don't have a mental illness ask. So you know if they're asking that question, they're not asking it because, you know, they're being silly. They're asking it because they genuinely believe that that is a legitimate question. And so you have to treat it as such. And I think that's the biggest misconception, is that particularly depression is just being sad for no reason. It's not. It's a full, like, perspective of the world. It's kind of this perspective of the world. Like, every day looks like this. The sun could be shining and birds singing, and there could be a nice cool breeze, and it could be literally the most idyllic, perfect day you've ever seen in your life. They will find the one cloud in the sky that brings it all down. That is depression. That is probably the most accurate depiction I can give. It's waking up tired. It's, you know, going to bed tired but not being able to sleep because you're too busy worrying about everything else that's going on in your life and how it's all spiraling out of control. They've still got control. Their perspective is that they don't, though, because certain things are happening. And it usually stems from massive impacts of, like, the cycle of grief, and they just get stuck somewhere in the cycle, and they just spiral down. But yeah, how I've helped that friend, and this is my third and final story because I can see that the time's getting on. So yeah, my friend's stuck in this little cycle trying to get themselves out. And we had a little thing where every day I would message them. I would say, hi, how you doing today? They would tell me if they had a good day or a bad day. 99% of the time it was that they had a bad day. And then I'd say, okay, but what was one positive thing you found today? And kind of the forcing them to think about at least one good thing that happened that day has helped them kind of gain back some semblance of a positive perspective of the world. You know, that the sun does actually shine every day, even if you can't see it. And so that's kind of the happy part. And then there's also things about them, like with their health and stuff, that they're not happy about, you know. Just in general, it could be like people's weight or how something, you know, looks. You know, maybe they don't like their hair or something. It can literally be as small as that. Like, they don't like their hair. You can get a haircut. Like, they don't cost that much, and all of a sudden you feel a lot more confident. But it actually works. So, you know, if that was it, I would say, well, okay, let's go get you a haircut. But obviously, well, like, the weight thing is a bigger one, because it takes a lot more work to kind of reduce that, because you've got to try and change some eating habits, or you've got to start doing exercise and all sorts of things. Another thing this friend has to do is they have to get themselves a hobby, because otherwise, unless they're invited out by friends to like socialize, they're pretty much stuck in their room doing nothing but watching TV. And so finding a hobby, particularly an outdoors one, where they can just go out, be outside, you know, soak up some of that vitamin D from the sun, get themselves feeling good, breathe in the fresh air, get their blood pumping, all that kind of stuff, will actually help them not only achieve happiness, but health. And if you can kind of take that as like a two-pronged attack from either side, mental illness really has like nowhere to go but out. And then, you know, you've just got your happiness and your health. And once you've achieved those, you can kind of, and I'm not saying this because it's cliched or anything, but you can actually kind of do just about anything you set your mind to. The trouble is that with Mind Over Matter, you have to be in control of your mind, and mental illness kind of takes away the perception of control. So yeah. Anyway, this has been a really long video, so I'm going to leave it there. If you liked this video and it helped in any way, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to leave me a comment down below. I would love to hear any of your stories about about a time you either helped a friend out with a mental illness or you yourself conquered a mental illness. I will make a video later on about my own conquering of my demons, but later, because time is getting right on with this video. It's really long, and I apologize for that. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button wherever you guys are, as I make new videos just about every day. And until next time, keep your head spinning bright, and I'll see you all later.